This is Leah's
The camera's
face.
on.
I said we're gonna shoot a video, and that was her face. We've been saying we were gonna do this for a while, and we keep putting it off. And you know what? We're just gonna stinking do it. And I press the button. What are we gonna talk about?
Camera's on. I mean, let's talk about
Mindset.
the power of the mind.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
I love it.
Okay, mindset. So we talk about how it's number one, or it used to be. It's like the most important. Like your mind is most important. Henry Ford says like whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Whether you think you're sick or well, you're right. So we know how important the mind is. We know that just by thinking about blood pressure, your blood pressure can go up. Just by thinking about the future, you can have anxiety. I mean, there's so much physiological changes that can happen with just what happens through the mind. But that's also one of the ones that seems to be the most neglected when we talk about health, right?
That's right. I mean, what looks different about your health because you know about the mind?
I don't get it. What does that mean?
Or your marriage. Here, I'm done.
No, okay, we're not going to stop. No, hey! What is it?
I'm out of here.
Come on. What do we got? What about the nocebo effect? You were just telling me about that.
Yeah,
what is
I
that?
didn't. You kept telling me about this nocebo effect, and for the longest time, I didn't even believe you.
Yeah.
Even though I started learning about all this stuff with visualization and remapping things in your brain, but every time you brought up someone dying of a misdiagnosis, I was like, I can't accept that.
Wait, someone dies from a misdiagnosis? Tell me about
That's
that.
what it means. Yeah, there is a couple different examples. One of the most famous ones, which happened many times, not just once, is a patient receiving a very grim cancer diagnosis, and then in 2 to 3 months passing away, and the autopsy shows that the cancer wasn't life-threatening. So they thought themselves into a dark place, into dying. So.
What about the placebo guy who tried to kill himself? Yeah, tell me about that one.
Okay, so a teenage guy was dealing with depression, and it just got tipped over the edge, his depression did, when his girlfriend dumped him. Nothing worse, right, than a girlfriend dumping you.
Terrible.
So he took the entire bottle of his antidepressants and went to the hospital with chest pain, and blood pressure had went through the roof and all of this, but the doctors couldn't find any toxins in his blood.
Why?
So because they looked into it, and he was actually on a placebo pill because he was a part of a study for teenagers battling depression.
So he was on his deathbed, like literally the doctors were saying he's literally dying, and as soon as they found out he was a part of a study, they told him about it, and then all of a sudden he starts to recover. It's how powerful the mind is. Whether you think yourself sick or well, that's why they say you're right. But it's the most neglected one. So what are some of the ways that you can train your brain? Because we've seen this, is that you can't train your brain to win and have victory and being an overcomer after the crisis or after the diagnosis. You know, how many people, you know, they get the diagnosis of, let's say, heart disease or cancer or whatever that is, and then they start to train their brain. No, you've got to win way before that.
That's right. I mean, it's just like our marriage. Like,
wait,
if I think you're a good husband, then you are, right? If I think you're a bad husband, then you are. But if I think you're good, you're good.
That's how it works. What do you think about me?
We'll talk about that later. So it's also funny because you're talking about training your brain in advance of actually having a humongous hurdle. Remember that day that you and Janelle made me really mad because I started working out, but you guys told me I wasn't really working out because I never sweat? Right. So now, lately...
So that's part of the bad husband thing? So.
Yeah, totally. That's right. No, but lately I have started, in the past couple months, working out until I sweat. And it's crazy because I actually see myself as a more capable person now.
Hashtag thank you, Janelle.
That I work harder.
Yeah. Well,
sweat more.
Well, that's why I think it's so important to be grateful and thankful and to see the good in things. Because you train your brain to see the good in things, and that roots out bitterness. You know, it literally roots out bitterness. It roots out depression. It roots out anxiety. Lack, you know, seeing other people who have maybe more, and jealousy and things like that. So seeing the good. So what are some of the, because you've been talking about this here recently, what are some of the ways you've been training your brain to see the good in things?
Yeah, just like no matter what's going on, it's you redirect your thoughts to what you're thankful for in any situation.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something that you're not pleased with, but realizing, oh, this is an opportunity to grow. So even everything that could be negative is an opportunity. Just looking at things as opportunities, as growth in your life.
Yeah.
It's also crazy because I keep picturing, and I'm getting more and more crazy as I study the mind, but the environment in your body is changed by our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we have happy, grateful thoughts, I just picture literally my insides look different than if I have negative thoughts. But here's the deal. Then on Facebook, and
Which
Facebook
anatomy
is never
is your insides?
Facebook is never fake news, so we're gonna take this as truth. But there was a study posted that said the shape of your brain literally changes
Yeah.
if you complain.
Yeah, bitterness. Yeah.
Yep. Wilson's, no complaining zone. So now this house is a no complaining zone because I want my kids' brains to be really beautiful.
Chuck used to teach us something. Can I borrow your hair tie? Just literally, just come on.
No.
Come on, let me borrow your hair tie, please. Vulnerability. Let's do it. Let me teach you something. Watch. All right. So Chuck used to teach us this. Oh, my hand's too big. Here, put it on you. Your hand's good. Okay, so you have a hair tie, right? And a tattoo, by the way. So you think something negative, right? You can let your hair down. It's all good. Let your hair down. You think something negative, right?
Are you gonna hurt your wife?
I don't think it'll hurt.
Oh, it won't hurt because my mind says it's gonna feel good.
Yeah, just change your mind. Okay, so you think something negative, or you know something like something negative about yourself, or like I'm gonna look terrible if I let my hair down. You like snap it, and literally
Felt
the
good.
pain, the pain of that, it creates a physiological response in your brain to start telling yourself, hey, that's not a good thing. And
To remap
so,
your brain.
Yeah, it's brain remapping. So you actually take a rubber band, snap it every time you have a negative thought, or maybe you have difficulty working out, or get into the habit of eating. What's that? Just break.
No choice but to let my hair down now.
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, so
We're all friends now.
You train your brain to counteract the negative thoughts. By the way, so you have weight loss goals, whatever that is, or you just want to start seeing things in more of a grateful and thankful light. Brain remapping is a good thing to do. What else
We'll
you
remap
got?
our brains this week.
Okay,
All right.
get some rubber bands. All right,
I gotta go do my hair now.
see you guys.